Can you hear us now, Charlie?
Yes, I can. Great.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. Yep.
I just checked the volume level to make sure. Didn't know if I had to use my military voice or not. All right.
You can use it.
Now, board member Charlie Tall is joining us online from California. We're not jealous. Let's move on to Chuck. Take us through the rest of that.
Okay, good
section.
afternoon. So we have several part items on our agenda. I'm going to go through my notes and I'm going to hit a lot of these items, maybe a little out of order with the agenda, but just bear with me. So let's, as we traditionally do, start with water capacity expansion. Labella has updated the water map plan report to recognize the project's 2 construction phases. The first phase is replacing the water pipe under East Street. The second phase is refurbishing or replacing the pipe on the railroad. The second phase engineering design will be finalized after groundwater level monitoring results and existing pipe inspection. The map plan report includes the map plan report for phase 2 includes 3 design scenarios. And this will be dependent upon the groundwater monitoring results. One is the easiest solution is to clean and rehabilitate the existing carrier pipe for $365,000, the preliminary conceptual estimate. The next opportunity is replace of the carrier pipe within the existing casing. That would be for $770,000. And then the third option is full new replacement of casing and carrier pipe for a little over $1 million. You have in your board package the updated map plan report with this information, which is necessary for the seeker that we're about to do later in the board meeting. And so we also have Labella's Paul Goulier here to talk about where we are with the map plan report and answer any questions. So with that, Paul, do you have anything to add on? Oh, okay, I guess I did a good job. Mr. Bruno, anything to add on to it?
No, I think you've captured all of them right there. A lot to say about it.
And we decided legally, our old map plan report didn't recognize the 2 phases. So this is an updated to reveal exactly what's happened. We figured there'd be some legal exposure if we did not recognize an updated map plan report. So with that, I think we need word approval.
Great. Hearing no questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the latest revised map plan and report from July 14th, 2026. Dan, second. Mark. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Continuing on to Mr. Bruno's point about the East Street water line replacement. As we know, on July 1st, the board approved awarding contract to Kelly South for slightly more than $1 million. On Friday, Labella provided the notice of award for the IDA legal review and signature, which is now ready for the signature. The next steps are signing the project agreement, then signing the notice to proceed, and then starting construction. And again, Paul is here to answer any questions about the project, but we're getting through administrative matters to go ahead and launch the project. So that's the update as far as what's in front of us before construction actually starts.
Yeah, the kind of the holdup here has been the satisfaction of the MWBE requirement by the contractor. But
Correct. And I talked with Jessica Lurkes of Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board today. The Fast New York award is $4.7 million. This project is one of 4.7. Right. So what that does is puts pressure on what we have to remain spending on the sewer to maybe make that 100% in WWE. But we're at a point now where we have no alternative. With this project, we have got no MWBE participation from all 4 of the bidders.
Right.
And
I think they've shown good faith effort. So if we need to go that route with the waiver. Yeah, usually you get a waiver.
Yeah, exactly. But I was talking to Jessica, she said we have to wait until we do the sewer contract. Because right now we're not at a point not being able to honor that obligation.
We may fulfill that.
So the waivers for the total project, total cost. award, and we just happen to have three separate projects, so, EFT has said that they don't want to see the waiver towards the end of funding and the documentation showing that we provide a good faith effort to meet that. So, two more projects away before we started getting into the waiver discussion.
Are you expecting any bidders that will meet the guidelines?
Well, we haven't put the invitation to bid package together yet. I don't know the landscape for sewer construction services in our area, but we'll just put in 100% W or MWBE participation, and we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you, the contractors for that will be similar, if not
That's what I'm
identical
thinking.
to the ones for
Right.
this. So we may be in the same
I
boat.
tend to agree. So then we go to ESD and formally ask for.
Although there are aspects of the sanitary sewer different from the water, where some MWBE entity may come along to satisfy that. Do
Right.
you agree, Paul?
Yeah, there are some general contractors out there that are either in W, but there's no way, there's no way to force them to bid.
No,
Right?
No.
You can send them the bid package and, encourage them to bid, invite them to bid, but that doesn't mean they're going to, and in our case, none of them did.
No, good.
And so we're, I think the important thing is to document, all efforts made by the IDA itself, but also by each of these contractors, make
Yes.
sure they provide the documentation that they're seeking and subconsultants, not subcontractors.
sure.
And if one did bid and they weren't the lowest bidder, there's no criteria to have to select the one. Because that could put us in trouble too.
Well, so say we expand the net and do a wider distribution of invitation to bid, and we get somebody downstate that has to bring people up here. It inherently could be a more expensive project. And so then we go to ESD and say, okay, this is our situation, more expensive. They might say, well, you have to do MWBE, so you'll have to deal with higher costs. I don't think they'll give us relief. But this is part of the waiver process. We just gotta bid this out and see what happens. We aren't bidding now until 2027, so we have some time. But right now in this project with the water line replacement, we're committing to not doing any MWBE participation.
Does everybody here understand the requirements of that MW?
What's the
MWBE is Minority Women's Business Enterprise, and New York State has upped the requirement over the past decade or so. It's what now, 30%, Paul? So,
Our funding for this project obligation ESD is 30% of the floor.
so if you have a $4 million project, 30% of that, in order to satisfy this requirement, 30% of that has to go to a minority or women business enterprise.
So we're
If you had a project like that, just to give everybody an idea of what,
Yeah, and just to emphasize that, it is a little confusing. You guys, the IDA have a responsibility, based on your funding stream. But in the bid package that we put out for the water main replacement, we also, made very clear that we expected the contractor to meet that requirement on their own, right? To meet 30% of their contract, not 30% of your overall funding.
right?
And these contractors are always going to try to get the waiver instead, usually.
Right.
That's, kind of.
There's more money in their pocket. if they-
Yeah, exactly.
So who gets the waiver? We get the waiver, like you were just saying, or
We
do
get,
they get?
we get, because we're financing this. We get approval from ESD to.
So we're going to
waive.
accept them based on the idea that we get the waiver first. We don't accept them and then get the waiver after.
Well, we go to market and see how they bid. In this case with water, we had 4 proposals. None of them have an MWBE participation.
Right, but again, I want to emphasize, the bid package requires them
Right,
to do it.
contractor.
And so none of them came in with it. So we can still award the contract to them. But at some point, if the IDA wants to reject these bidders because they don't have enough MWB participation to meet your needs, you're allowed to do that. You have a window to do that. And that window is still open even after the notice of award. But it kind of closes after the notice of receipt. It's a slight oversimplification, but.
Right.
kind of
So we're sort of taking their word that they can meet the requirement. You can push back and say, show us.
yes, should lean on them to make sure that they put in as much as they can.
Because the state could say, well, what did you do to mitigate this, right?
Right, exactly. And either way, whatever we do, all communication is part of that building the record or,
Right.
you know, an eventual IDA waiver.
So the winning bid did already submit the waiver and the documentation they thought they needed. So we're weeding through that to make sure that, that's part of whatever the full package towards the end of all the projects. To be able to submit that to ESD.
But Jessica explained to me today that the actual waiver happens later, so we are setting up the story for the reason why we need the waiver. But we can't request the waiver until we get the bids for the sewer.
Right, you'd have to have all the bids for everything by the time you can actually ask for the waiver.
But you're not sure at this point.
If you're not sure who's gonna bid or not, right?
Sometimes being upstate, there's less MWBE participation. And I think that's a common issue. So maybe we'll get relief just because we don't have a lot of service providers up here. Or we might get invitation from someone, again, farther south of us, that inherently might be more expensive, and we might have to go ahead with the more expensive option.
I like moving forward on this one, but let me ask a question for phase 2 or project 2 and project 3. If we can, are we allowed to put mandatory 20, your bid would be rejected if you don't have 20% in? Because going to ESD with, we're 20% short on the requirement is different than going to ESD saying we're 100% short. So, I'm trying to figure that, can we?
I mean, it might be, I think you should put instead that WMBE participation will be like given like
Priority or something.
priority or something like that. Because if you completely exclude it, then I think
Yeah.
you have a potential of then the other side's making a discrimination claim that you specifically exclude people that couldn't get the
Right.
WMBE.
I'm trying to reach a middle point because you're already saying all the contractors are playing the game, they're submitting their waiver from the get-go. That, for me, that's a little hard to swallow. I'm not talking
Playing
about
the
this.
game
I'm talking
costs you
about phase-
money.
Right,
Playing the game costs you money, so you do it exactly the way
We
she
go to
said.
ESD this fall, because we still have some runway before we'll be awarding
okay.
the sewer. So let's talk to them about their
Kevin.
situation.
You
Sorry.
were saying, again, getting back to the wording, you're saying that they're submitting the waiver. They're not submitting.
They're submitting to us.
They expect us to do that work,
So ESD wants to,
which is gonna cost us more
No,
money.
no, they
Right.
gave us the paperwork to help us because they know that we will need to request the waiver. Because ESD, when they awarded us the 4.7, they said you'll get it, but you must have 30% MWBE participation.
And I get all that, but I'm saying that's gonna cost us more money. We should push it back on them. Any of that, any of those costs, should be pushed back on
Who's
them.
them?
Contractor.
Whoever takes the contract.
Well,
Your
right.
time, your time, your time.
And
your
it's
time.
just on us.
Well,
Then
we
it's just
we had
supposed to
4
that.
bidders and then none of they
Yeah.
all could walk. That's our problem.
I think Melissa could answer more to this, that we don't ever get hardly ever get a one that qualifies.
You're not let out of it very easily.
No, you do everything to get a waiver because you can't get out. Yeah,
You do what? I'm sorry, Melissa?
I think the same thing, we didn't have the MWBE with the barn that we built, maybe the Fort Ann barn or something.
yeah.
Purchasing all that. No, we ended up getting a waiver, I just know we couldn't get it. And I think you're right, I think they hold you to paying more,
Right. That's
even
ultimately
if they're,
probably what's
you know,
gonna happen.
downstate or something, right, you pay more.
Civic Center bought that scoreboard, that was subject to it, and somebody said, don't worry about it. And then we ended up having it done, and then we had to worry about it, it became our problem, not the contractor.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, correct. And that's why,
We wanna make it that better.
again, with the sewer project, we're looking to do that in the spring, summer, fall of 2027. The engineering is essentially done. And so is our understanding of all the other cost components. So I would offer, we talk with ESD this summer and fall and just see if there's a way we can work out an easy solution or at least an easy waiver. Once we get the bids back and understand the landscape, then we'll have set the story up with them because we went to them proactively and talked to them early on. So this is something we're just gonna have to hit head on.
Well,
So it doesn't
ultimately,
become a problem later
Can
on.
you buy pipe from woman owned versus non-women owned and all that stuff? Is that?
Sure.
Is it, have they made that
It's
effort?
labor and materials.
They made that effort?
Yeah, labor and materials.
It's gotta be, it's 1.4 million, so there's gotta be 1.4 million worth of.
Well, again, for this one, we're way down the path. We want to move with this one. It's the second one for sewer that we want to do stuff like that.
With most municipal contracts that have these types of requirements, you know, say the contractor is $1 million, right? And say they have 30%, so 100,000. But say they only find 100,000 of a, you know, MWB subcontractor and they get a waiver for the rest. The waiver that the contractor got, you know, kind of applies to the municipality too, right? Like the municipality is indirectly getting credit for it. And so it's not like the municipality then has to, you know, give away more of another part of the project than another review entity just because one component did. And I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming, you know, you guys are gonna be in a similar situation. And so it behooves us to, you know, encourage Keller in this case to get as much MWB participation as possible. Whatever they can't get, have them document their waiver, because then we'll, you know, we, the IPA, will be able to take credit for that. You know, farther down the line in 2027, once they're wrapping up the entire project.
Right.
What we don't want to do is let Keller do whatever they want, not
Right.
document anything, and then find ourselves having to effectively, you know, give away more than 30% on the last project down the line.
Have they made any effort? Like,
Yes.
they tell you
Yeah,
what,
they say
suppliers.
they are.
suppliers, electrician, anything they have to, other than?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But they haven't, you know, they haven't come up to a final solution yet. And then, you know, I think it's important for us, you know, us, the IDA, to hold them to it. You know, to make them either meet their full 30% or, you know, document a proper waiver.
And we're more apt to get the waiver if we held them to the fire too.
Exactly.
That's the truth.
I will speak with Jameson's, the same person that did our East Tree entrance modification is the head of this project. We have good working relationship. We'll have that grown up discussion.
And then again, all this language is in your feedback. And,
Yeah.
you know, put it black and white, you have to do.
Okay. Next topic. We good?
Move it.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
more good news coming. Here it
Oh,
comes.
boy.
So the fire suppression engineering. Labella has preliminary analyzed fire protection system for the site based upon this potential new buyer. System includes a water storage tank, pumping system, building sprinklers, and standpipes. They're exploring, Labella explored 2 tank options, a ground level tank with pumps and an elevated tank to eliminate pumping. And here comes the good news. The respective conceptual engineering cost estimates are $2.8 million and $5.1 million. 0.8 is for the ground level, 5.1 for an elevated tank. And that's because of the structural work necessary for a tank. So now for our information and the information of the prospective buyer, the price tag is estimated at $2.8 million. It's conceptual, has a lot of contingency dollars, but at least now we know what the prospective buyer has to deal with. Okay, I bet, no, we're good. So we now have that report. See what the prospective buyer wants to do with that information. Okay. Moving on from water, onto sewer. With the WCC land purchase, Northeastern Environmental Technologies Corporation inspected 3 WCC lots last week. The inspector did not observe any major issues, but noted a groundwater piezometer that may have been associated with the GED watering operation. More to come. I'll speak with WCC about that. I suspect it's with the GED watering site. This inspector is working with the firm's president, Jeff Link, to provide the inspection letter. So we'll have that inspection letter. Next, Mr. Bruno talked about the East Street entrance modification, so I will not go over that again. And then as far as Lock 8-way bridge replacement, our engineering firm, Farland Johnson, and construction company, ING Civil, have asked permission to set up an engineering trailer a laydown area on the WWIDA land, including a board package or lease agreements drafted by Kara for board approval. I don't know if there are any questions. Really what's happening is at the north end of where our bridge is, between the bridge and Route 196, where the proposed laydown is going to be. And then the engineering trailer will actually be on the industrial park site where the key of the industrial trailers were. So to protect ourselves, we had to make sure we have these two lease agreements in force.
Just for clarification, they're license access agreements, so there's no lease landlord tenant
Sorry.
relationship created, so they can be revoked at any time by the IDA.
So the other trailer's gone and this one's going right in the same place.
Yeah, well, Kiewit, they had like 10 trailers.
Yeah,
With this company, they're only have one.
so those 10 are all gone and one's still there somewhere.
Correct. So I think we need board approval for both license agreements.
Only say one, yeah.
Yeah, we have the ING and we have the McFarland job.
All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the license agreements between the counties of Warren, Washington Industrial Development Agency and McFarland Johnson, Inc., as well as the license agreement between the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency and ING. Dan, second. Brian, discussion. Need a roll call. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Continuing on with the bridge replacement, the bridge closure is delayed from this week until either late July or early August. ING Civil is waiting for approval from New York State Highway Construction System. They've put information in. That system needs to give the green light and then they can start construction. But apparently there's a heavy workload of projects going in. Apparently one person handling this, so we just have to wait for this one person to do our project. But hopefully we'll start a project by early August. Moving on to Seeker. We've had minor project changes that have triggered the need for updating our canal side Seeker. The specific changes are rehabilitation of the street sewer line, because it's being done with public money, and WCC land acquisition. Paul is here to walk us through Seeker's parts 2 and 3. After we get through this update, these forms be signed and we'll have an updated Seeker. So with that, I'll turn it over to Paul.
So I'm not sure how much detail you want me to go into here. So let me know if I'm doing too much. Do we need to read through every question?
Yes.
Don't worry.
Has to be recorded in the minutes that we went through every question.
All right, so I'm starting off with the full PAF part 2. And one impact on land, we've answered yes. And we've answered no or small impact for all of the subcategories except subcategory E. If you don't have a larger, moderate to large impact, this is a proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or multiple phases. On question 2, we have first and geological features. Here we answered no. The proposed action may result in modification or destruction of or inhibit access to unique or unusual landforms on the site. Again, we answered no to this. Question 3, impacts on the surface water. The proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies, being rivers, ponds, or lakes. Again, we answered no to this question. Impact on groundwater. 4, proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater, or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer. And we answered no to this question. Question 5, impact on flooding. Proposed action may result in development on lands subject to flooding. Again, we answered no to this question. And item number 6, impacts on air and climate. Proposed action may include a state regulated air emission source or generate greenhouse gas emissions over 100,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. And we answered no to this. And number 7, impacts on plants and animals. Proposed action may result in the loss of flora or fauna. The answer is yes to this question. There are 4 sub-questions here. For each one of these, we answered no or small impact may occur. Table printed over. There are actually more sub-questions in the second page, but these are all also answered no or small impact may occur. Question number 8, impact on agricultural resources. Proposed action may impact agricultural resources. We answered no to this question. And number 9, impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action is obviously different from or are in sharp contrast to the current land use patterns in proposed projects in a scenic or aesthetic resource. The answer to this question is no. Question 10, impact on historic and archaeological resources. Proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource. The answer to this question is again no. Item number 11, impact on open space and recreation. Proposed action may result in a loss of recreational opportunities or a reduction of an open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan. The answer here is again no. Question 12, impact on critical environmental areas. Proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area. The answer here is again no. Question 13, impact on transportation. Proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems. The answer here is again no. Question 14, impact on energy. Proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy. Answer no. Question 15, impact on noise, odor, or light. The proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting. The answer here is yes. For most of these, in fact, for all of these, the answer is, more specifically, no or small impact may occur. And I think these are mostly related to this instruction page. Question 16, impact on human health. The proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants. The answer is no. Question 17, consistency with community plans. Proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans. The answer is no. Question 18, consistency with community character. The proposed project is inconsistent with existing community character. No. Impact on disadvantaged community. Proposed project may impact a disadvantaged community. No. 20. Future physical climate risks. Proposed project may be vulnerable to future physical climate risks or increase the vulnerability of human or ecological communities to future physical climate risks. No. And that completes part 2. Any questions on anything on part 2? Do I need to go into more detail on the ones that we answered yes, but we need to get through each of the subsections?
I think we're good.
No, I'm good.
It was actually very well summarized.
Record that. Forget that recording.
It's very efficient, whole thing.
Right. Next, we have part 3. This is full environmental assessment form part 3, evaluation of the magnitude and importance of project impacts and determination of significance. We'll just read this paragraphs out. Part 3 provides the reasons in support of the determination of significance. The lead agency must complete part 3 for every question in part 2 where the impact has been identified as potentially moderate to large, or where there is a need to explain why a particular element of the proposed action will not or may result in a significant adverse environmental impact. Based on the analysis of part 3, the lead agency must decide whether to require an environmental impact statement to further assess the proposed action, or whether available information is sufficient for the lead agency to conclude that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse environmental impact. By completing the certification phase, the lead agency can complete a determination of significance. The following are the reasons supporting this determination. To complete this section, identify the impact based on the part 2 responses and those project magnitude. Magnitude considers factors such as severity, size, or extent of an impact. Assess the importance of the impact. Importance relates to the geographic scope, duration, probability of the project occurring, number of people affected by the impact, and any additional environmental consequences of the impact. The assessment should take into consideration any design element or project changes. Repeat this process for each part 2 question where the impact has been identified as potentially moderate to large, or where there is a need to explain why a particular element of the proposed action will not or may result in a significant adverse environmental impact. Provide the reasons why the impact may or will not result in significant adverse environmental impact. Conditional negative declarations identify the specific conditions imposed that will modify the proposed action, so that no significant adverse environmental impacts will result, and add additional sheet as needed. So we have the additional findings narrative here. And
In your board package is pages 33, 34, 35, 36. Well, what Paul just went over is page 7. And then I'm referring to the supplemental documentation, pages 33.
do we need to read through all of the narrative?
No.
I don't think so. That's probably-
I think we're good.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
I think we're good.
The narrative goes through in each.
And it's very comprehensive, so it's very good supporting documentation. Thank you. So anything else, Paul?
No, I mean, the bottom line is that ultimately you're opening box A on the second page of 3 and saying this project will result in no significant adverse impact on the environment, and therefore an environmental impact statement need not occur. Accordingly, it's negative declaration.
Should have led with that one.
Great. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve secret parts 2 and 3 amendment. Brian, second. Melissa, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. So continuing on with the update, we talked about canal side maintenance issue with the skid steer, looking for options for our fall, late summer, early fall work. More to come there. And that's it for the report on the parks, unless there are any questions.
All right. Do we need Paul here anymore? Okay.
I think we're good.
You can stay if you'd like, but we won't hurt our feelings if you
Pretty
get.
excited.
Doug, do you need,
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
thanks, Paul.
Oh, we'll give you a signed letter. Notice, notice.
You, like other names of people that might, cause you're just talking about what, bush hogging that area?
Yeah. Please.
Okay,
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll get a couple.
That'd be super.
And then they might be ones you already have, but I'll,
Did out 2 years ago. We went.
Well, hang on. What we need is the stuff along the fence. It's not just bush hogging, brush hogging, open areas. More. to it.
right, but but that's what they're doing. They're not, it's not lawn grade. It's not like you're going down to like a mowing your lawn. It's,
So-
it's,
So he,
it's a bush hog.
he Everett is doing,
And
Yeah.
you gotta go out there and take a look at it to know what I'm talking about.
yeah, so what was
Well,
referring to?
that, I'm thinking you aren't mowing it with a lawnmower, you're mowing it with a bush hog. You're mowing it with
The
these
area,
little
the
courts.
open areas, yeah, but there's a lot of fence and a lot of places there where the weeds, brush is growing up along the building and
Right, what Mr. Bruno is pointing out is that we have the mowing activity, but we also, Everett has a trimmer, he has a chainsaw, and he goes after all these other areas. So we'll have to scope, we did an RFP a couple years ago, the site, we could dust it off. So it's
we're not
not
dusting
just,
that one off, because there was nothing in it.
not just mowing,
It's horrible.
it was also just landscaping, call it landscaping.
What was that cost? Do you remember?
I think it was about 18,000.
Okay. Yep.
So anyways, we'll get some new numbers,
Is that for a singular
one pass.
one pass? Okay.
You're talking about the,
I'm sorry, how much for one pen?
Grasshopper, when they first did it with the
18,000.
former chairman, it
yeah,
was
I
about
don't,
18,000.
yeah, we have to take a look.
Probably
at
2 or
that
3 days to
scope. I don't think
complete it
was-
off.
Yeah, but they brought in a crew and they just did.
I know what they did. You need
You need more
good
than that.
definition, when you advertise, when you go out in RFP, you better have it defined well enough so you can go back to the entity that you award it to and say, hey, you didn't get this stuff here along this fence. You didn't get that in the middle of the road. You did, whatever. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you got
we'll,
nothing.
we'll provide a map, say, this is the area. these
oh,
are
we'll
the-
look at it.
Everything but pavement.
Well, to Mr. Bruno's point, there's stuff along the fence that need to be cut down. There are some trees in the stormwater basin need to be cut down, and there's some mowing. So
Anyway.
we'll completely scope it out.
Yeah.
Mr. Bruno and I will do this, so we'll have a very comprehensive RFP.
Yep.
But it won't be cheap.
All right, anybody have anything else for Canal Side or Airport Industrial Park? Hearing nothing, moving on to ongoing business, creative economy update, page 39 of your read ahead.
So there's very brief update from Labella, in conjunction with Des Moines for our kickoff of the creative economy. There was 2 core team meetings, and we say core team meetings. We have an advisory committee that comprises of about 11 people. Half are economic development people, and half are creative economy people. We decided that we put together a core committee for biweekly meetings to be a resource for Labella to keep this moving forward without pulling together the full group. Core committee members are Juan, Mr. Gonzalez, myself, Sue Clary representing Washington County Arts, John Lefner representing Warren County Arts, and then Ally, then the consultants, Bella Greenberger, Megan Wright, and Rachel Selitsky. We actually had a meeting today, and we're getting to a cadence where every other Monday we talk for about anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. So the core team meetings have been kicked off and they will continue. We also had the first advisory committee meeting on July 14th. And in it, we are working on defining the creative economy, imposing visitor and organizational surveys and promotional materials for the survey work to be done. So we're about to get to a point now where we're going very public with the survey to start gathering information. Database. So with that, Mr. Gonzalez, do you have any?
Look, we have a good start. They will be providing monthly updates to the board. And very excited that the arts groups are really taking to this, and they'll have the Mosaic meeting on Thursday, and we'll lock in all the events that we're going to be targeting for the next 4 months. And then the survey will consist of all the feedback from that. And we might even be going backwards a month, trying to get in contact with the like the Wine and Food Festival and see if we can get an email listing to get that in surveys out to them. Surveying the organizations, surveying the visitors, and we're glad we're gonna have a comprehensive amount of data here by December. Good. Moving on.
Okay, with LinkedIn, there's a report from our social media intern, who actually did the report while she was in Europe. We won't go through the details, but I did in the conclusion touch a statement I thought was wonderful. She said, looking at what's been working, what's not, this suggests there's an opportunity to refine our content strategy by strengthening our post design, creating more direct and compelling captions, and continuing to strategically tag partner organizations, businesses, and industry professionals to expand visibility across LinkedIn. So she's rolling up her sleeves, and more good things are coming. And with that, Ally, do you have anything to add?
Right, yeah.
That's it on LinkedIn, unless there are any questions.
All right. Any additional ongoing business that needs to come before this board? All right, hearing that, moving on to new business. Looks like office lease agreement is next. Who wants to take it? Chuck, you.
So, sure, I'll start. So our lease agreement with P. Hoffman Realty is coming to an end, and it's time to renew. They have given us a proposed amendment to the existing lease agreement. Cost was about $1,000 a month. They're increasing it to suggesting 1,100. The one thing they did here that we aren't necessarily agreeing with is suggesting it should be a 5-year lease. We'd like to be able to reduce it to as low as 2 years, partly because as an organization, we might be growing with our initiatives and with from field work, et cetera. Current space may not be adequate, so we didn't think it'd be smart to lock it to 5 years. And I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if you got anything to add to that.
Yes, we know we have funds in our CDC now. We know we've tackling brownfields, and we know we're gonna create some additional initiatives once we sell Canal Side. For those that have been at this office, it looks like a college dorm room, I'll be honest. This is why we don't take visitors there. We appreciate the use of Kara's office, but we need some more physical space. The CEO's out in the sitting 2 feet from the conference table where his desk is. So, but we need to really understand, if I had a 5-year vision, I would say we would have 4 to 5 employees. But when we sell Canal Side probably impacts that the most. So I think a 2-year lease is very accurate, buys us some time to figure out, 1, what size do we need, and 2, where do we go? And so looking to making we're not sure. We haven't gone back to the realtor yet with this, but we would like to be able to slim that number down from 5 to 2, possibly 3 at the most.
Say you want to start low, because doubtful they're gonna accept your first proposal. That'd be surprising. He's asking for 5 years, and you say 2. You think he's gonna say, well, okay. So you wanna, I'm just throwing that out there.
Or we could say the board authorized selling it to 2 years.
Yes?
Well, we can actually make that happen. We can actually pass a resolution that we allow, we did not give you,
Doesn't give us the authority to go about 2 years.
right?
We would welcome that.
But, so you can do that, and then what if the landlord says, see ya?
I think we have a good relationship with them. They've been very good, and when we look for future space, they might be a resource.
I think this is Charlie here. Am I heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it would also be likely that he may be willing to accept 2, and my experience is, but that you may pay, and you don't offer it, but he may want $12.50 a month instead. And that's very good for us, because you don't want to get hooked straddling 2 offices and all that situation if we're growing, which we will be, it looks like. So it's better to pay more for less time.
Agreed.
So how would we create that resolution? Accept the lease agreement with the,
2 years at $1,100.
but the 1,100 doesn't give us wiggle room, should we?
Well, he'll ask for more, or he'll
Bring it back.
That's the
he'll
starting.
stipulate it back. He just has.
Come back to us. Yeah,
Yeah.
come back to us. So that way he knows that the turnaround time, you don't have authority at the moment.
And it'll be his reason why we don't extend the lease on 31 July. So he should be okay with us coming back to the board in August, if that's what, if that's what they want.
Mhm.
All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the lease agreement for 2 years at $1,100 per month. Brian, second. Dan, discussion. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
Yes,
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, motion passes. Moving on to North Creek, New York Resort Opco LLC sales tax exemption extension. Kara, do we get a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, so their sales tax exemption is up on the end of this month. They said they're still doing some things, but they haven't exceeded their dollar amount, so they've requested a 90-day extension. So that brings us to October 31st.
And we renewed it once, so this is the third time, right?
Yeah, we renewed it one other time. Yeah,
And 90 days gives them.
till the end of October. That's what they
And the
requested.
dollar value, they don't figure they're gonna go above.
They said they haven't. Do you remember what they were at, Ally, when they submitted last?
I don't remember. It was more of a timing issue for them.
Yeah.
Than it was monetary.
It's really no effect if they've done it that time.
Right.
It's the same.
Yeah, there's no additional benefit.
Exactly.
No best.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion approving the resolution, taking action, extending the project completion date and authorization for sales tax exemption to North Creek, New York Resort Holdco LLC as agent of the agency for the purpose of constructing and equipping the project facility. First, Brian, second. Dan, discussion. Roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Ian Bruno,
Yes.
Mahoney,
Yes.
Trisha Rogers.
Yes.
Charlie Tall,
yes,
Mark Yershaw,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes,
Motion passes.
great. Moving on, any new business before this board? Hearing none, moving on to staff report. CEO, please.
Okay, so, June 16th and July 20th, I was on vacation for majority of July, so this will be a limited list. Back on June 16th, I attended the Lake George Chamber Spring Economic What's Breakfast at Courtyard by Marriott, very well attended and very local media. And on the 17th of June, I had the Lake George and LRC Chamber ADK EAP workshop on workforce generations, which I thought was very interesting and very well attended in the village. And then on June 24th, we attended, Ally and I went to the ADK Tech's ribbon cutting. It's very well attended. And of course, ADK Tech's is a company supporting us. Then on June 26th, attended the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board Brownfield Coalition meeting. And specific focus on North Creek and Salem-based brownfield projects. And then we had on the 14th of July, we had the Creative Economy Advisory Committee meeting in Des Moines. Moving on to my engagements, year to date, we're at 28. We have 8 manufacturing distribution, 4 tourism recreation, 2 in hotel and resort, 1 in food and beverage, 2 mixed, 8 housing, 1 medical, 2 in other. Of the 28, we have potential for 6 being applicants in 2026, 6 being applicants in 2027, and none thus far in 2028. We also have unknown 11 and 5 who probably will not be applicants. As far as our pipeline for incentive projects, we have 22. We have 8 in manufacturing. We have 5 in mixed use, 5 in housing, 3 in hotel and resort, and 1 in tourism and recreation. Of those, 7 are advancing their application. We're going to have some very interesting applications. 1 will be a major deviation, which we'll be talking with the local town with when it becomes appropriate. The applicant's still working on the application. Anyway, so there are 7 advancing applications. We have 5 that I categorize as possible, 10 that are just exploring, as a total of 22. And of course, we always report that we always have at least 10 that drop off in the past year for various reasons. So I think the second half of this year, we're certainly going to see more applications than we did the first half of this year. So with that, that's my report unless there are any questions.
Is it 50-50, the two counties, or?
No, the majority really is Warren, about 2/3. And that's a little bit of the nature of the beast, as you know.
Yep.
So we work both counties as hard as we can, but there is more certainly in Warren County right now.
Anybody have anything else for our CEO? All right, hearing none, turn it over to Administrator Ellie.
Yeah, just to update you guys on the village taxes, we had 3 pilots that do owe village taxes to have paid. There's one that we're still awaiting payment. It's Greenwich Preservation Project. They are the Wally's Restaurant in Greenwich. But they do have till the end of this month to pay what they owe right now. Also on Thursday, Connor and I went to the New York State EDC Summer IDA Academy. And the topics that we discussed were update on the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, the Rethinking Development Proformas in the Changing Market, the New York State ABO training session, adaptive property use reuse for the college properties, and update on the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation seeker reforms and wetlands. Was well attended, and they were good presentations, good panelists. Do you have anything to add?
No, strong event. They talked a lot about what we kind of ran into at the end of one of our last meetings where we had an application for somebody, and somebody brought up the comment of, why are we giving it to this guy for the 3rd time? And Steve Obermeyer was up there and basically talked about their experiences and basically saying they weren't receiving the constant, they've had multiple counties, and if they don't get those savings, they can't roll it into the next project, and that next project does employ people, does create new jobs, and keeps the economy rolling. So it was just important thought on just making sure, hey, even this guy's we've approved him 3 times, he should be fine by now. It does roll into the next project and keep making jobs. So that's probably the biggest takeaway from that, was just not shutting it down because we've seen the same repeat character.
And just one more thing, this is in regards to your responses for board meetings. I realize not everybody's in front of their emails all day and they don't necessarily see my messages come through with the agendas. If there's another way, and I'm not just targeting you, we had this conversation this morning, but if there is any other form of communication that works best for you, text, pigeons, smoke signals, let me know, and I will try to reach out to you the way it's more convenient for you all. So just let me know. That's all I have.
How's your
Great.
semaphore, Allie?
It's wonderful.
Semaphore.
Alrighty, we're almost near the end. Don't forget, we do have a quick CDC meeting as well. With that, anybody have anything else for Ally? Hold on.
Did you want to mention August 4th, what it is, or?
August 4th.
Good.
Yeah, mention it.
So just to let everyone know, and I'm sure you all saw the email by now, but on August 4th, we're having the IDA is holding a luncheon for last year's board members who retired from the IDA, and it will be held at the Glens Falls Country Club at noon. And I believe I've received responses from, I think Mark, there are a few people I have not, for the most part, I have received responses.
Okay.
Can you believe that? Not to put you on the spot, but
I'm not certain.
yeah, okay.
Well, it's also being sponsored. We should mention that.
Oh, yeah, sponsors, Anchor Point is a fractional CFO guy that's sponsoring the meeting. He'll be there. I just remembered my anniversary is on 2 August, so thank you for anything is with my August schedule.
Well, it's pretty close right now.
Yeah. It is.
Thought
Yeah,
I'd better mention it.
good. No, great. Thank you for mentioning that. That's good. Anything else from the administrator? Anybody have anything for the administrator? All right, don't worry, it's our 20th anniversary, sir. We've done this 19 times before. We're good, good. No, it's until September. All right. Any public comments? Any comments? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting. Mark, second. Brian, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion carries. We are adjourned. All right, quick turn. I call to order the counties of Warren and Washington Civic Development Corporation meeting on 20 July 2026 at 5:07 PM. Make it a roll call, please, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Thank you.
Connor McCoy,
Here.
Ian Bruno,
Here.
Kevin Mahoney,
Here.
Trisha Rogers, here, Charlie Tall,
Present remote.
Mark Hirshaw,
Here.
Melissa Fitch. Here. Juan Gonzalez.
Here.
We have a forum, we have 9 out of 10.
Great. Moving on your board packet on page 2 is the minutes of the May 18th CDC board. I'll entertain a motion to approve those. Dan, second. Mark, any discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve those reports. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, turn it over to treasurer for finance reports on page 4.
Only action on the income statement is some interest, income earned from the CD of $900 and an accounting fee. We also did receive the $2 million payment for economic development, that can be seen in the revenue as well as our balance sheet, which has been a hot topic behind the scenes. Is if we want to discuss at this meeting, what we've been looking into.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
So-
1 second. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the financial reports. Brian, second. Kevin.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, you had your finger up. All right. Any discussion on the reports? Hearing none, can you get a roll call, please, Ally?
Brian Campbell,
Yes.
Connor McCoy,
Yes.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Mahoney, Trisha Rogers. Yes. Charlie Tall,
Yes.
Mark Hirshaw,
Yes.
Melissa Fitch.
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Great. Moving on, CHPE TDI Economic Development Funds, Mr. Treasurer.
So we received the $2 million payment and we've touched base with Arrow on the best ways to handle it. And Val and Mark and Ally have been all working towards finding the best solution. So far, the ICS account, which is what we have all of our IDA funds in, is the best option. We were provided 2 other small options, but it locks up our cash for a good bit. And the CD rates don't match until it's for too long. So long and short of it, the ICS made the most money, gives us the most flexibility to move stuff
So
around.
that's the best return.
Correct.
Yeah.
We could lock it up for a longer period of time and get a higher return, but just with what we don't know about what we want to do with the money, I don't think we want to lock it up for, I think it was like 12 months to where it outpaced it.
Or let's make something.
It's making something. It's actually was a 3 point, I want to say 5.8. I'll double check the rate, but it was a solid. Again, ICS still puts out a great rate. Mark, I don't know if you had more to share on that. I know the Val kind of mentioned.
Yeah, we were back
Yeah.
and forth on it. When did the money come in?
Mhm.
Specific date, but I would say, yeah, a couple weeks ago.
We announced it's July.
Yeah, you did announce it at
yeah.
the July
It's
1st
just
meeting.
the last week in June.
Yeah, okay.
We could even backdate it to the date that it came in if you want.
Oh, great.
Okay.
That works.
Some of the other things that we talked about were treasuries, CDs. There's a lot of volatility in, especially in the treasury market every day, it seems. But they are a little higher. It just locks it up for a little bit longer right now. So once the board determines what they want to do with this money, just starts us earning interest right now.
Mhm.
And then we can make a decision on some of the other stuff without penalty. There's no minimum. This diversifies it across all the other banks. So it's.
So future payments are gonna come in the same way.
Yeah, we've confirmed we just got confirmation of the commercial operation date, which is May 13th, that they confirmed that. So we've got a memo that we're gonna update with that date, and the payments are on an annual basis, so they're due no later than the end of November of each year. And that'll be true for the school and the town.
And is this just the community funds or is this the pilots also?
So that's both.
Both are gonna come in November. And so they all get paid out. All of it gets paid out or we
6
get
months
a
later.
percentage of it?
No,
If the counties are wanting us to take a percentage, we have.
Well, no, I'm trying to figure out what's in that. what's in that
I
law.
believe our
or what's
plans
in
to
that
turn it
contract.
around pretty quick.
Yeah, it's the
So if
agreement.
it comes in November, it's out in January, is that right?
Probably earlier than
Right.
that.
Well, remember, November is when they're supposed to have it by, and then after 30 days, there's a payment, interest payment, late fee type of deal. So we would anticipate the funds coming in sometime November, possibly December. But until they execute the first one to see if they're on time or not, or if they're willing to accept the 1% or 2%,
Probably.
addition, then that's different. So,
They're gonna come in both.
yeah. So,
So I guess I was trying to understand though, are you gonna keep like a cushion there, like as that's coming in so that you can pay everybody on time, so they're always paid on time? Or are you always waiting until you get?
Just gonna be like any other pilot
We get
or
paid.
CDC agreement,
we're gonna be.
or any other pilot agreement. So if the company is delayed, then the municipality is delayed.
Okay,
So they think of the idea as
trying to
the pass
understand
through,
that, yeah.
not as the
Yeah.
front loader of the money.
so we just get interest on it for the few months that we hold it and then it's out the door anyway.
So,
I don't think we hold it. We
yeah,
shouldn't be.
that point is, we're not planning.
You must be holding it, you still got it
Nope.
now.
No,
Nope.
this,
No,
that's a-
Our payment.
This is our own payment.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my question originally, that,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
That's what I
This was
thought,
the second-
okay.
This was the second of two, $2
Misunderstood.
million
Or I
economic
misunderstood, I
development
didn't
payments.
ask right, yes.
Moving on to the other payments, they're 6 months after May. And then they have, it's 30 or 60, I can't remember what it said in that.
It's
That
The
vote,
last day of the 6 months
Yes.
after the.
But either
commercial
way, you're gonna
operation.
hold,
So it's
you
the end
will
of
have
November.
it for a couple weeks before it gets out the door, probably.
and
It should
I
go
would-
out
if you
the
might
next
wanna
day.
plan for a couple of weeks, we can, but I want us to, we probably turn it over sooner.
As quick as you can, but you'll still gain interest on it while it's there.
Couple days, yeah. And then you got the holidays, you gotta wait a couple of weeks, another week and a half. And then January's busy, so maybe.
Parties.
I'm doing the banks, right? Those pennies add up.
We don't talk pennies anymore.
I know it's not, it's definitely not pennies anymore.
Well, you have to round up as much as you have to round down, so, you know, that's a
So,
benefit.
so a little flexibility, but as soon as that check clears, we're looking to get that money out as quickly as possible, being a true pass through.
So the last time we rated this fund to put it in the IDA account, now it's in this fund. Are we doing the same?
We're gonna present 3 to 5 options to this board on what to do with these funds. We
Okay.
need about 2 more months, let us know. One of those options will be to hold it and get it over to the IDA to help finish off these major projects. But the caveat is that we can legally send money, grant money from the CDC to the IDA. But if we figure out we don't need it, then we cannot send it back to the CDC legally. And when you look at the two entities, we are very strict on what we can do with funds, more strict with the IDA. For the CDC, we actually have a lot more room to expand what we call, this board decides it's
Will
economic
you give us a
development.
sheet that explains that?
We
to
are-
us? 'Cause
yes.
we're gonna
So we
to
need about,
understand
with
that.
all the other initiatives, we are.
Sometimes it's done for a reason, so you can't do the wrong thing.
Yes.
Remember, part of this funding is used for the creative economy study.
Yeah.
And then we also have some funding for canal side that we do not have grant funding for. And that number is moving depending, what we talked about earlier about the railroad. You know, whether it's 330,000 or whether it's $1 million, any excess comes out of our pocket. So we still have some spending to do on canal side. And we've also talked about the brownfield opportunities, but both counties are doing inventories right now. So we're not ready to talk about brownfield. Maybe over the next 6-month period, as these inventory studies are being done, then we can start having discussions about whether or not we want to get more involved with brownfield activities in both counties.
And
So
so
there's
yeah.
more to come.
So we do have 2.3 million plus currently with the IDA. Now we have 2 million with the CDC. Now we're starting to become a cash heavy IDA/CDC, and then we can get really focused on attacking economic development with these funds. But you also have to remember, $4 million is not solving the issues of Warren and Washington County. So we're gonna have to be very diligent in how we spend it and how to make that money multiply with items like a creative impact study. So wonderful. Give us 2-3 months max. I think we'll be ready. Ally, treasurer, Chuck, is that
Yeah,
inaccurate?
well, meanwhile, we're gonna hopefully sell outside, but that's,
That would help as well.
yes. Which gives us even a stronger balance sheet.
The cash, yeah. Great. Anything else? Anybody have any additional thoughts there? All right, hearing nothing, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the CDC meeting. Dan, second, treasurer, Thomas. All in favor?
Right.
Any
Aye.
opposed or abstaining? Hearing none, motion carries. Meeting's adjourned.
Safe travels, Charlie.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
You, Charlie.
Good luck,
Take
Charlie.
care.